So let's see here. We're getting the streaming going. Let's make sure that's all working. Let's see here. Let's make sure we're all working here. Thank you so much for joining. For those that might be here already, we're going to kick this off here in just a second or two. Let's see. All right. I hope you all are having a fantastic Thursday wherever you are in the world. I am so honored to join you and talk a little bit about the Voyage of Empowerment with some special announcements today. And in order to do that, let's kick this thing off properly with a lot of fun and engagement. And here we go. Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our discussion on the Voyage of Empowerment. And we're going to have a major keynote announcement coming up in just a moment. For those that don't know, the Voyage of Empowerment is where we're going to share a lot about how to leverage differences to impact change. And I'm Ashley T. Brundage, the founder and president of Empowering Differences. And I'm here to tell you a little bit about my 4-step empowerment process, which guides everything in relation to how we navigate all of the 10 most common differences that we hold as humans on this earth. And that starts and will always end with you. You are the starting point and where empowerment lives for each and every one of your differences. And then step 1 is to know yourself. So go ahead and take a moment. And if you have not yet downloaded my empowerment assessment, this is your chance to do that. So you have the path to driving empowerment for you and others. And speaking of others, that leads us to step 2 in this empowerment journey, which will help you know others. And as you know others in the community, the world at large, you'll learn about the 10 most common differences that we hold as humans. You'll engage with my research project, which was Empowering Differences, and get to know everyone in this world and all of those differences. And that's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll talk on our Voyage of Empowerment around how to make and create an empowerment panel for your life. That's going to be a lot of fun, and just some of the things you're going to get on this journey. And as we're on this journey, you'll realize that step 3 is to develop your strategy. And together we'll build that strategy, because we'll have 5 days and 5 nights of engagement ways to build that strategy for empowerment, driving more leadership for you and others in your organization. And step 4 is how we take action. And I call them empowering actions because they combine the intersection of empowerment with the corresponding action that everyone in the world is asking you to do, regardless of where you sit, whether it's privilege or disprivilege. This gives you that chance. So if you haven't yet engaged with our differences assessment in relation to privileges and learning about others, this is a good time to download our new differences assessment to help you realize where you fit in the world. But also, empowerment is 3 key elements. It's authority, it's power, and it's people. And all of those 3 elements have to be combined with the action that we're asking you to do to drive the champion of change for your organization or for your life. And those 4 actions, ultimately, the 4 steps and the 10 empowering actions, all connect empowerment to change. And speaking of the best way that we're going to execute change, and that is to join the Voyage of Empowerment. And we're going to have some amazing guests joining us on this mission. I think about taking this journey to the next level together. So Let's see what that might look like. Come and join me on the Voyage of Empowerment, and you'll be able to take your journey to the next level. So, taking it to the next level, let's talk about how we're going to do that. And we're going to do that with amazing world-class speakers who champion DEI for their entire life. And the first amazing speaker I want to introduce you to is an amazing friend of mine for DEI. You know him, you love him. He is the Howard Ross. So Howard, come on in and let's talk about this voyage of empowerment together.
Oh, Ashley, it's so good to be with you, and you're so demonstrating why I love you so much, which is that you're so self-expressed and so passionate and so out there, and I think that's something that we all want for ourselves, to have that kind of freedom to express ourselves. So what better way than to hang out with you? Thanks so much for having me.
5 days and 5 nights of us hanging out together. Oh my goodness, we have a lot of plans on store for this conference, don't we?
Yeah, well, for sure. I think I said this to you before, that you remind me of one of my favorite quotes from Ralph Waldo Emerson, who said that who you are speaks so loudly I can't hear a word you're saying. And really, I think there's so many things about this that I love. I think that particularly now, so many of us are in the depths of this societal trauma that we're in, this post-traumatic stress that we're all living through, and we have to grind through these conversations. They're important, but it feels sometimes like we carry this heavy weight around us. And so this notion of moving towards, to some degree, kind of edutainment, being in an environment which calls for us to have fun with each other, which calls for us to relax a little bit, and to have these conversations in an uplifting way, I think is particularly healing given the time that we're in.
Yeah, and we have to stick together. And it's like that togetherness is what builds empowerment. And I get a lot of questions in relation to, okay, you said authority and power. Well, what does that actually mean? And so we have to really categorize that and separate it for a moment to think about what actually is the authority and what is the power dynamic or power item. And authority is those heart-driven items that drive that compassion to lead you to being the boss, right? It's not just the boss of authority, it's how we get there. And that's leadership development curriculum, that's recruiting, that's retention for our people. All of those things drive towards the authority, the heart element, the mind element, all of the things connecting our human element. And then the power or power dynamics will always be something that's a measured resource, time, money, right? All of those things in that realm. Yeah, someone's skill set or talent that they have. Those things are then in the power realm. So what is your favorite measured resource?
Well, I would say just generally, and then I'll answer the specifics, but just generally, I think what you're also pointing to is, for people who are practitioners, for people who not only are doing their own work, but are looking to contribute to other people and empower other people, it's so important that we take care of ourselves. Audre Lorde, the brilliant Audre Lorde, once said that self-care is a revolutionary act. And I like to think of it this way. When you get on the airplane and they do that pre-flight thing, they tell you that when the mask drops, put it on yourself so that you can help somebody else. Because if you don't put it on yourself first, you could pass out before you could help the people around you. And I think that's really analogous to how we are right now. I think we especially need to be taking care of ourselves as practitioners. So for me, this ties really deeply into the first two of your four steps, especially the understanding self and understanding others. People know me for my diversity work, but most people probably don't know I've also been a meditation teacher for almost 25 years. And for me, meditation and mindfulness is an important part of what's allowed me to maintain my stability as we deal with these issues. And so we'll be talking about, people who are with me will be talking about things like understanding that inner voice, what I call the inner Supreme Court that's always judging ourselves, and how do we learn to manage that so that we can, come from a sense of strength and equanimity ourselves to be able to be with other people, to understand how we can use mindfulness techniques to allow people to make better decisions. All of that is a big piece of this, as well as the normal DE&I kind of stuff that we often talk about.
Yeah, and that's why you're going to also be doing some mindfulness sessions on the conference, which is going to be really exciting as well. I'm so looking forward to that. So anything else that you're thinking about the conference and what you're most excited about?
No, I just think that there's something that happens when you have people in a contained space. I mean, some of us have had that experience. We've been away in retreats in the woods and places. I know I've led God only knows how many of those over the 40 years that I've been doing this work. There is something that I like to call it the slumber party effect. It's like there's what happens in the classroom, so to speak, when we're in a session, but then there's when you're sitting next to that person, having a drink in a lounge chair on the deck, and you get into that conversation. It drops to a new depth because you were just in that conversation in the classroom, or when you're sitting across dinner with somebody you haven't met before, and something emerges, or when you're having that late night and you end up dancing with somebody and a relationship gets created, and all of that contributes to a much deeper sense of connection and a greater sense of belonging that we have with each other as we're getting into these difficult conversations. And I think that what it allows is for conversations to get to a greater depth um, when we're together. But I think probably a lot of people are wondering, like, how can we come? How can we get in this thing? Because it sounds like fun. So
Well, I don't do anything that doesn't also have fun embedded into it.
not
I
not
think,
a bad strategy for life.
right? I mean, you have to obviously build that connection. This is where your most creative moments happen, when you get out of that normal daily
Yep.
mundane task framework. So, but no, it's a great question. The best way to do that is to make a reservation and come on the journey. There's a lot of attendee benefits, and I have them here for everyone. The Voyage of Empowerment, actually, we have some full-blown details. This is an opportunity to really learn about that. You can make your reservation. There's a link here in the chat. And I had to build a conference that was based on inclusion. So it's a one-stop shop, one price realm, where you get everything all in there together. I'm not going to be nickeling and diming you for other elements. You're going to get the internet. You're going to get beverages, your beverage of choice, whether that be alcoholic or non-alcoholic. It's all inclusive. We're actually also planning a special empowerment excursion in Cozumel, Mexico, for you to be on that and give back to the community, because giving back is so important to driving empowerment for people. So your taxes, your gratuities, your port fees, all of it is together. You get my empowerment bundle so you can engage with my content year round. You get professional development credits. You get additional conference sessions for professional development credits. You're going to have everything kind of all in this thing. And then we're going to be recording all of our 10 main stage sessions during the conference. And Howard is going to be one of those speakers during the main stage sessions. Each of the 10 main stage sessions will center around the 10 empowering actions. So you'll have that great connection point of the actions that you need to take to drive more empowerment for people on this earth through all of our differences as well. And so go ahead and you can make the reservation. You can use coupon code VOE100 and you can save $100 off the booking. And specifically in relation, if you're thinking about attending and you don't have the funds to attend, you can always ask the leadership development person or your manager at the corporation you work for to pay for this, because it is in their budget. The leadership budget is usually 4 times the size of the D&I budget. From my research and my time working at PNC Bank, I can tell you it's a big difference between those two budgets. And they earmark funds to send people on professional development conferences all day long. Right, Howard?
Yeah, and what I would say is, if you need to convince that person, invite them to come with you.
Yeah.
Get them excited about the event, then they'll come and they'll pay for you too.
Totally. Yes. Yes. And so if you need help, if you need the flyer, send me a note, send me a message on LinkedIn. I'll get you the flyer for the Voyage of Empowerment, which has all the attendee benefits, so you can share that with your manager. That's the way to do this. You don't have to use your own money. Use the empowerment that a major corporation already holds onto and see some control of that authority and power for you as the people. That's the way to drive change. So let's do that. Let's join in on the Voyage of Empowerment, because this is going to be so much fun. I cannot wait. Howard, any closing thoughts that you have? I don't know.
Look, I just really want to invite people to join us for this. I think we have a huge opportunity here to give ourselves both a break from the mundane, a break from the everyday, and an opportunity to lift ourselves and each other up. To not only have ourselves feel better in our own bodies while we're out there doing the work that we do, but also to bring a new revival of energy. I know that I find as somebody who's out there presenting a lot, that if I don't take the time to work on myself, that you can only take people as far as you've gone yourself. And if you're exhausted, if you're stressed, if you're experiencing that trauma, it will affect your work. So,
yeah.
So please,
and
please join us.
Yeah, you definitely hit on it. Empowerment always starts with you, but it also ends with you as well, because you are the only person who can make the opinion of what is empowering to you. Yeah, so we're gonna do that together, aren't we?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I guess I'll just kind of do one last call, see if there are any questions before we drop off. But it was so much fun hanging out with you for a little bit during lunchtime on the East Coast of the United States of America today. And I'm coming to you from land adjacent to the Seminole tribe, probably once was theirs here in Florida. I think it's important to recognize that. I also am a majority able-bodied woman who has today very crazy, naturally curly red hair. So I'm so honored to be with you, Howard Ross, and together help us shape empowerment for people.
Hey, it's my pleasure. I can't wait.
All right. Well, thanks so much, everyone. And we'll see you on the flip side for the next speaker announcement, which I'll be sending that out soon because I've reviewed all of our speaker submissions, and you'll get those updates, and you'll get another LinkedIn invite from me. And if there's someone out there that doesn't have the corporation that's empowering them, or the empowerment measured resource of your own funds to attend this conference, I also have a scholarship available that's still taking applications. I personally earmarked the ability to pay for 2 people to come on the Voyage of Empowerment myself. And of course, I'm hoping that there might be other corporations that want to back that and match that, because that's how empowerment actually happens. So if you're in the need for the scholarship, please also message me. You'll find that on my website at empoweringdifferences.com. And together we can shape our future and go on this journey. All right, Howard, I'll see you next time. I'll see you November 12th.
That's right. That's right. Stay safe and be well, everybody.
All right. Bye-bye. Take it easy.